All right, we're continuing to follow the story this morning of the airstrikes on the U.S. bases, Iran firing multiple rockets at 2 U.S. bases in Iraq overnight. Security, we know, has been increased at the White House. The big question is this morning, one of them anyway, is how will U.S. President Donald Trump respond? Joining us with more to explain some of the events that we're seeing and following is retired Major General David Fraser. Good to have you with us, sir.
Good morning.
First of all, let's update everybody on our Canadian soldiers. We heard yesterday of a big move for our soldiers, and then word this morning from General Vance that they are safe.
So we saw the letter to the families the other day, and what's paramount to General Vance and to our government is the safety of our women and men, and everything has indicated that those people that are not necessary for the mission are safe and they're out of the conflict zone.
What does this mean? What does this escalation mean for our Canadian soldiers in the region right now? What will our role be?
Well, first of all, the mission has been suspended until such time as politically we find out what Iran and United States are doing. So those women and men who are not part of that mission, who are part of that mission, are out of there. But for the people who are left back there, like the NATO commander is a Canadian, two-star general, the threat level has gone up significantly for them.
What does that mean? If I'm a civilian back in Canada watching all this, what does that mean?
Well, you saw it last night. There were missiles being fired for the first time out of Tehran into Iraq against 2 military targets, 2 military air bases and whatnot. Very constrained retaliation, but it was a significant statement from Iran that they were not happy with the killing of Soleimani.
Where do you see things going from here?
Well, last night I was, it was a planned operation right after the funeral. It was a constrained retaliation against 2 military targets, but also a lot of the rhetoric, though. There was an opportunity to say, if the United States doesn't fire back, maybe this could be the end for Iran. So we'll have to wait and see what happens today with the president.
We're waiting to hear word from the president, and he has said he will be speaking later this morning. In the meantime, he said on a tweet, starting off with "all is well." You put that against the fact that Iran's supreme leader went on state television on Wednesday saying this is a slap in the face for the U.S. You have 2 leaders, strong words. What do you read between that? What are you seeing here?
I've actually seen more restraint on Trump. With the tweet last night, the fact that he didn't go on television, it was only the tweet. We also saw, that after the killing of Soleimani, he put out an American flag. Iran put out an Iranian flag. It almost sounds like both of the leaders are now offering the other person an opportunity to say, maybe let's de-escalate this, because nobody wants a war.
Is that true? There are people who seem to believe that this could be beneficial for either country.
We've been in conflict. Well, the United States and Iran have been in conflict for many years. I mean, the arms embargoes, the economic embargo, the nuclear treaty, whatnot. I mean, there's been a conflict, but it's not an out-and-out war that traditionally what people see. So I don't think either leader wants a war. Trump has actually said he didn't want a war. He wanted to end a war and stop a war. But I think what we saw last night could have gotten spiraled out of control. But the fact that nothing's happened.
No casualties reported.
No casualties, no retaliation by the Americans, whatnot. Let's wait and see what the president says this morning.
Americans are waking up this morning seeing this news of 2 strikes or multiple strikes on 2 bases and are wondering, are we at war with the United States? Lindsey Graham goes on the air calling this a definite active war. Are they at war?
No war has actually been declared, but we are in an armed conflict with Tehran. Mainly, Tehran's been using proxies to fight their war against the United States and whatnot, but they've also been fighting against ISIL. So there's a very complex situation. It's not what I would call a traditional war where you see 2 armies in battlefield fighting each other, but we are, moving ever so closer to potentially open conflict, whatnot, but we're not what I would say is a traditional war.
In your role, in your military mindset, when you see events like what happened last night, what are you thinking right now?
What I saw last night was a planned, deliberate military attack on 2 military bases in response to the death of a military leader. I saw a lot of rhetoric between 2 political leaders and administrations, whatnot, but it was very measured last night. It wasn't done by a proxy, it was done by Iran. They were using very sophisticated missiles to send a very strong message back to the United States in response to a very strong message the United States sent to Iran by killing of Soleimani.
To what end?
We're going to find out what the politicians are going to say, but what I saw last night was an offering of, okay, tit for tat. It's if there's no other action today, maybe that's the end of this round.
I want to thank you for coming in this morning.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks for watching. If you like this, be sure to subscribe here.
And you can check out more Your Morning videos right here.